Okay, let's unpack this. You're out there, right? Trying to get your website noticed, build that online presence.
Yeah, it's tough, a really crowded space online.
Exactly. And you're doing the SEO work, you're creating content, but how do you really know what the competition's doing that's working? How do you peek behind their curtain?
Right, what's actually moving the needle for them?
Well, today we're digging into something pretty interesting, potentially really powerful for that. Python web scraping.
Yeah, it's fascinating because it offers this potential for laser-focused intel on your competitors.
So our mission today really is to figure out if this Python scraping thing can actually give you a serious edge in SEO and content.
Mm-hmm. Or is it just like another complicated tech thing that's maybe too much for most businesses? We want to see if it's a game changer.
Definitely. And yeah, Python web scraping sounds a bit intimidating, maybe.
It can, yeah.
But we're going to break it down. Plain English. Think of it like having a super fast digital scout.
That's a good way to put it.
Instead of you or your team manually clicking through competitor sites, copying, pasting.
Yeah, the tedious stuff.
Python web scraping uses these software scripts, basically, instructions written in Python to just automate all of that. It goes out, grabs the specific info you want from their websites, even from search results.
Exactly. It takes that really time-consuming, repetitive data collection and just, puts it on autopilot.
So it reads the code, the website's blueprint, you said.
Precisely. Instead of a human eye scanning, the script reads the underlying code, the HTML, and pulls out just what you told it to look for.
And why Python? Is it just the best language for this?
Well, it's very popular for it.
Right.
It's generally seen as relatively straightforward to learn compared to some others. And crucially, it has these pre-built components, libraries.
Libraries, right? Like toolkits.
Kind of like Lego blocks, yeah.
Nah.
Instead of building everything from scratch, Python gives you these ready-made tools for common scraping tasks, fetching pages, sorting through the code, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Makes it much faster.
Gotcha. Okay. So the big question we're tackling, is this Python scraping a real competitive weapon for SEO and content? Or is it, just too much hassle for most businesses?
That's what we need to figure out.
All right, let's talk about the competitive gold. What kind of actual data can this digital scout bring back?
Well, think about just the sheer amount of information online. Scraping lets you cut through all that noise and grab exactly what's valuable for understanding your rivals.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, SEO basics first. You can automatically pull all your competitors' page titles and meta descriptions.
The bits you see in Google search results.
Exactly. So you see instantly how they're positioning themselves, what keywords they're hitting, their main selling points.
Right. And you mentioned indexing instructions, like telling Google what to do.
Yeah, those behind-the-scenes tags like no index or no follow tells you how they're trying to guide search engines. Subtle, but important.
Okay, so titles, descriptions, indexing. What else? Content structure.
Definitely. You can look at the main headings they use, H1s, H2s, H3s.
Ah, so you see how they organize their information, their main topics.
Precisely. It reveals their content hierarchy,
Yeah.
what they're emphasizing, and then there's their linking strategy.
Internal links, you mean? Like how they link their own pages together?
Both internal and external. Internal links show you their priorities, maybe what they see as their most important cornerstone content. External links? Well, they can suggest resources they value or even strategic partnerships.
Okay, this is getting interesting. Now, what about the actual content strategy, beyond just structure?
This is where it gets really insightful, I think. You can scrape things like the typical length of their articles.
Ah, so are they doing long-form guides or short posts?
Right. And the specific keywords they're clearly targeting within the text. Plus, you can go broader analyze the core concepts and topics they cover consistently across their site.
So it's not just counting keywords, it's understanding their expertise.
Exactly. You're moving beyond simple keyword lists to grasp the topics they're trying to own, the authority they're building.
That's a big difference.
Huge. And you can also track content freshness. How often are they publishing new stuff, updating old articles? Gives you a sense of their rhythm, their commitment.
Okay, and performance. Can you track rankings?
You can. You can use scraping to monitor how competitors rank for your important keywords. See if they're grabbing those featured snippets at the top of Google.
Oh, wow. And for e-commerce, this must be huge.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine tracking competitor prices almost in real time.
Daily price checks. Automated.
Yep. Plus product availability, the features they highlight, even scraping customer ratings and reviews to see sentiment.
That's a lot of intel. What about ads? Can you see what they're paying for?
Not directly, usually.
Hmm.
But sometimes, by scraping their landing pages or analyzing certain patterns, you can get clues about the keywords they might be bidding on in paid search. It's not perfect, but it's another piece of the puzzle.
Okay, wow. So clearly you can uncover a ton of competitive data with this.
A massive amount, potentially.
Yeah, but let's get real. A busy business owner juggling everything. Why should they care about digging through all this raw data? What's the actual strategic payoff here?
Well, fundamentally, it's about making smarter decisions. Decisions backed by data, not just guesswork. And that ultimately saves time and resources.
How so? The time-saving part.
Think about how many hours it would take your team to manually find and organize even a fraction of this info.
Yeah, days, weeks maybe.
Right? Scraping automates that. It frees up your people to actually analyze the data and figure out the strategy, not just collect it.
Okay, that makes sense. Shifting from grunt work to brain work.
Exactly. And then there's the scale. You can analyze so much more data, hundreds of thousands of pages, way beyond manual capacity.
Right, you'd never be able to do that by hand.
Never. And analyzing at that scale lets you spot patterns, trends, things you'd completely miss otherwise. Plus, because you control the scraper, you can tailor it.
Tailor it how?
To answer your very specific business questions, you're not limited by what a standard tool decides to show you. You get custom answers.
And that's where the hidden opportunities pop up, the aha moments.
That's often where they come from, yeah. Finding those content gaps.
Tell me more about finding gaps. Like, how does that work practically?
Okay, imagine you scrape, say, the top 20 sites ranking for sustainable packaging solutions.
Yeah.
You analyze their content topics.
Right.
And you find, maybe, that 18 of them have detailed guides on biodegradable materials, but your site barely touches on it. Boom. There's your content gap.
Ah, okay. So you see what everyone else is covering deeply that you're missing.
Exactly. And you also learn what formats are working for them, what topics resonate. It directly informs your own content strategy. Plus, you understand how they use keywords, not just which ones. The context.
Understanding the how, not just the what's. I like that. And you mentioned real-time monitoring, staying ahead.
Yeah, you can automate it. Set up scripts to track key competitors constantly. Do they launch a new product? Slash prices. Suddenly jump in rankings for a keyword you care about.
So you can react fast.
Much faster. And you can benchmark yourself directly against them. See where you're lagging, where you need to improve. It gives you broader market intelligence too. Pricing, ads, product ranges. It's a fuller picture.
Okay, this sounds incredibly powerful. Almost too good to be true. Which usually means there are downsides.
Hey, yeah. There are definitely challenges. It's not all smooth sailing. Let's talk about navigating that potential minefield.
Good term. What's the first hurdle? The technical stuff.
That's a big one. Websites are complex. Many actively try to block scraping. Lots of ways. They might block your IP address if you send too many requests too fast. You run into CAPI-CHAs, those prove you're not a robot tests.
Those.
Yeah. And modern websites often use a lot of JavaScript to load content after the initial page loads. Basic scrapers might just see an empty shell.
So the scraper doesn't get the actual content.
Right. You need more advanced techniques like using headless browsers in your script, which basically mimic a real user's browser. It gets more complicated.
And websites change, right? So your scraper could just break.
Constantly. Designs change, code structure changes. Your perfectly working script can break overnight. It needs ongoing maintenance. And you have to be polite.
Polite scraping, what's that?
Don't hammer their server. Space out your requests. Don't slow down their site for actual human visitors. It's bad etiquette and gets you blocked faster.
Okay, so technical roadblocks, constant maintenance. What else? Data quality.
Yep. The raw data you pull, it's often messy, inconsistent formats, missing pieces, just noise.
So you can't just use it straight away.
Rarely. It almost
Yes.
always needs significant cleaning, structuring, processing before you can actually analyze it properly and trust the insights.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out, otherwise.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But beyond the technical and data stuff, there are the really crucial ethical and legal tightropes you have to walk. This is super important.
Okay, yeah. Let's be really clear here. What are the absolute no-goes? The boundaries.
Number 1, respectrobots.txt.
Explain that again.
It's a simple text file most websites have, like competitor.com, robots.txt. It tells bots which parts of the site they're not allowed to crawl or scrape.
And you have to obey it.
You absolutely should. Ignoring it is bad practice, gets you blocked, and just signals you're not playing fair. It can damage your reputation.
Okay. Respectrobots.txt. What else?
Read the terms of service, the 2S. usually linked in the footer.
The fine print nobody reads.
Yeah, but you have to here. Many explicitly ban scraping. Violating the 2S could lead to legal trouble, getting completely banned from the site. Seriously.
Okay, robots.txt, terms of service. What about people's data? Privacy.
Paramount.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Never scrape personal identifiable information, names, emails, phone numbers, anything like that without explicit consent. Laws like GDPR, CCPA have huge penalties for this. Just don't go there.
Right. Personal data is off limits. Period.
And then there's copyright. Website content, text, images, it's copyrighted. You can't just scrape it and reuse it wholesale without permission. That's infringement. Lawsuits happen.
Makes sense. And the polite scraping thing again. Don't overload their site.
Exactly. Don't be a bad neighbor. Scraping too aggressively can crash their site or slow it down for real users. That's just harmful and irresponsible.
Okay. These are really critical points. We actually put together a quick checklist covering these, didn't we?
Yeah. Summarizing the key things. Check robots.txt. Read the TSs. No personal data. Respect copyright. Scrape slowly, politely. Identify your bot if possible.
And
be very careful how you use the data, especially publishing or reselling.
Absolutely vital to get this right. The risks are real.
They really are. Responsible scraping is non-negotiable.
Okay. So given all these hurdles, the tech challenges, the data cleaning, the major legal and ethical risks, when does it actually make sense to go down the Python route versus just using standard tools like SEMrush, RFs, those guys?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really depends on your specific needs and, frankly, your ambition.
How so?
Look, those standard SEO tools are fantastic for many things. They're user-friendly, no coding needed, give you quick insights on keywords, basic competitor stuff, site health. They're your essential toolkit.
Right. They cover the bases for most people, probably.
For a lot of common tasks, absolutely. They're great for getting a broad overview everyday analysis.
So when do you need to break out the Python heavy machinery?
It becomes really valuable when you hit the limits of those tools. Primarily scale.
Scale, meaning?
Meaning you need to analyze massive amounts of data, thousands, millions of competitor pages, product listings. Standard tools often have limits or just aren't built for that kind of volume. Python handles scale well.
Okay, massive scale is one trigger. What else?
Hyper-specific information. When you need data points or a type of analysis that the standard tools just don't offer, you need something really custom.
Like tracking something very niche about competitors.
Exactly. Or maybe you need to integrate competitor data directly into your own internal dashboards or systems in a very specific way. Python gives you that total flexibility.
Ah, custom integration. Okay.
And finally, for really deep advanced analysis, going beyond keywords to understand core topic dominance, maybe creating unique visualizations of the market landscape that standard tools can't generate. Python gives you the power for that deeper dive.
Right. So it's about massive scale, super specific needs, custom integration, and deeper analysis. Those are the key drivers.
Pretty much sums it up. That's when the standard toolkit might not be enough, and the custom machinery of Python starts looking attractive.
But as we said, it comes with a price. You need the technical skills in-house or the budget to pay someone who has them.
Precisely. It's that trade-off. Ease of use with standard tools versus the power and customization, but also complexity and cost of Python scraping. Okay, let's pull this all together then. We've gone deep. The bottom line, is Python web scraping the right strategic move for your business listening right now? Well, to reiterate, it can be incredibly potent. It offers this way to get a real competitive edge through deep, custom insights and automating data collection at a scale you just can't do manually.
You can potentially find things your competitors don't even know about themselves.
Potentially, yes. Patterns, opportunities.
But it is definitely not a simple plug-and-play fix.
Not at all. You've got the technical hurdles, the need for ongoing strip maintenance, and crucially, that absolute requirement to be ethically sound and legally compliant.
The risks we talked about, getting blocked, legal issues, damaging your reputation, they are very real if you're irresponsible.
Absolutely. Cannot stress that enough.
So before diving in, you really need to ask some hard questions, right?
Yes. First, are my current tools, SEMrush, RFs, Google Analytics, whatever you use, are they truly not giving me the competitive insights I need to grow? Are they really falling short?
Be honest about that first.
Right. Second, is the potential value of getting that super specific custom scrape data genuinely worth the investment? The investment in skills, time, maybe paying for specialized help.
What's the ROI calculation look like?
And third, maybe the most critical, is my business fully prepared, culturally and operationally, to manage the ethical and legal responsibilities that come with this. Are we ready to do this the right way every single time?
Those are the key decision points.
They really are. Ultimately, think of Python scraping as a strategic investment. It makes the most sense when your current methods just aren't answering your most burning questions about the competition.
So it complements rather than replaces other tools and strategies.
Ideally, yes. It should build on your existing SEO, your marketing, the data you already have. It's about carefully weighing your needs, your resources, and your tolerance for risk. Is this specific tool the right key for your next phase of growth?
Okay, so summing up our deep dive, Python web scraping. Powerful, yes. Complex, absolutely. But it offers a way to get much deeper, much more customized insights into competitors for SEO and content.
For sure. But whether you should use it, that really comes down to your unique situation, your tech capabilities, and again, that unwavering commitment to doing it ethically and legally.
So here's something to think about. What crucial questions about your competitors remain unanswered right now? Questions that, if answered, could really unlock that next level of growth for you. And could the kind of detailed, custom data that Python scraping might provide be the key you've been looking for?